Welcome to Baby Babble episode 2. My name is Sarah Zielinski. I am 14 weeks pregnant and I am coming to bring you an IGTV weekly series where I share with you my journey as a first-time mom, all about tips and tricks I've learned along the way, including my crazy cravings, fitness and nutrition, and everything in between. So I'm a little bit late to getting started today. I actually had my very first appointment with a pelvic floor physiotherapist, which I'm calling my vagina personal trainer. So I had my first visit with her this morning and I'm going to be sharing with you guys all about that. I went through my stories and wrote down everything that you guys were saying you wanted me to touch on. Hello, can you guys jump on? What's up? I'm sorry, I'm 10 minutes late, but I had to go to my appointment. Hi, Andrea. Okay, hi, Steph. Oh my goodness, I love seeing you guys jumping on. Hi, Ramona. Okay, guys, so I've got quite a list of things I'm going to be covering today. I have tons of different supplements and things like that are out in front of me right now. The baby is the size of a navel orange today. I do not believe that because, again, I'm still not showing at all. And it was pretty cool to go and meet with this lady today. But the first thing I'm going to be addressing with you guys, I touched on this a little bit in my first episode about my Crohn's disease. That seems to be something a lot of you are asking about when it comes to my symptoms and how I'm feeling. Your girl can eat pretty much everything except I'm really struggling with meats, which is fine because I like to eat plant-based anyways, 80% of the time. I'm like grossed out by it and things like that, but I find that my stomach really bloats out when I'm having anything like that or different types of oils. But all in all, I used to go to the bathroom 30 times a day. And now I go to the bathroom maybe once or twice a day. And I said to Brock, and I said this before, that if I could just be a surrogate that was able to drink wine, I would do that, but I can't. And of course my dogs are, can you hear them upside down, just like panting at each other? Anyways, so I had a couple of you guys also asking about my nursery plans. So we'll kind of go over what I'm going to talk about today so you can decide if you're going to stick around with me or not. And you can ask me anything live on here too if you'd like to. Thank you. I love you. So today I'm going to be going over my nursery plans. I can't tell you how many people have messaged me specifically, hey, and then they have savages. I said, what are you and Brock going to do living in this house? We live in a super tiny home. It's just basically kitchen, little office here, living area still there, bathroom, laundry, upstairs loft. It's basically all that we have for our home. So there's been a lot of talk for you guys moving. Are you building a new home? Brock and I have had a lot of stuff happening on the back burner that we cannot talk about yet, to give us about another week or so we can surprise you guys with all the information that we've been working on. But a lot of people thought it was just building a home. We have a 5-year plan to get a property, hopefully on the water with land where Brock can actually hunt. And then we can have like my own personal big gym in there and all the things. But as of right now, we have no plans on moving. This small little teeny tiny space that I'm in right now, it is the smallest space in the world. We have a little mirror closet here. I'm thinking about doing a really nice storage system. Honestly, any recommendations that you guys have, please send them my way, because we looked at the IKEA systems, we looked at different cheaper Rubbermaid ones, but I want it to be really nice, organized, even possibly having a changing table in my closet, and then just doing in this room still has to be my office. I need a space to work, otherwise I'm working only in the kitchen, and I like my kitchen to be my chill zen zone. But we're thinking little crib in here, bassinet upstairs, do all my changing and stuff like that over by my laundry, so I can literally just I said, I don't want to have to clean baby in here and then bring baby somewhere else. I want to just be oh, baby, you're dirty, and just spray the baby's butt with this sprayer thing I have right next to my laundry machine. Because I said to Brock, I'm not going to want to be picking things up and carrying it around. I'm going to want to just spray the baby's butt down, get the yucks out, and then change it. So, and I am going to be doing cloth diapers and regular diapers. I know a lot of people are Sarah, you're absolutely nuts. My girlfriend Shannon does cloth diapers. 1, environment. 2, better on their skin. 3, they're really fucking cute. You get these, there's a brand called Buttons, okay? I wasn't even going to talk about this today. There's a brand called Buttons, and you can basically put your diapers out, and there's even charcoal pads you can put in there. And you can have it out so newborn, 1 to 3, 3 to 6, and go up in size. And as your baby gets bigger, you can just take stuff and go and put it away and store it. And for us, being such a small space, the more we can do that, the better. And I obviously want to have a bigger impact on not having waste. One of the reasons also why I drink so much flow water, anti-plastic. So we're going to do cloth diapers. I totally don't mind if you guys think that's disgusting. We're going to try it. I'm definitely going to have ones with me to take with us anyways when we go to random places. If anyone has experience with it, please let me know. I know a lot of people have already said, like, you say that now, sis, but wait, and then you're not going to want to be cleaning anything. I'm just changing and throwing it out, and I'm sure that's going to happen. The next thing that was on here is about an ultrasound. If I've seen the baby, I have. So I don't know if I can bring it up on my my iPad here, but I've had 2 different ultrasounds. So the first one was my dating one, so I'm due August 26th, which is super, super cool. And then my second one was checking like the length of the back of the neck. So it was more for like genetic testing. My husband and I had the conversation about doing the Harmony test. We decided not to. Biggest thing for me is that I'm personally, as of right now, like, and as we've gone through the process, I'm like, I'm comfortable with taking on whatever the universe wants to throw at me when it comes to babies and any type of genetic issues or conditions. There is a 9% chance that our baby could have Crohn's disease like me. So it's pretty slim chance. And I said to him, like, I'm like, you know, we don't need to do the genetic testing for that. I'm totally cool with taking that on. As well as I did work in child protective services for a super long time, and I worked with like different children that had behavioral issues, and also had a whole bunch of different like genetic conditions. And for me, and for example, Down syndrome. And if you guys don't know this, oh, I should grab my picture so I can show you really quick. Is my Uncle Wayne right here? Oh my God, he's like the sweetest man in the world. This is my Uncle Wayne and he has Down syndrome. He was the one that opened the dance floor with me on my wedding day. So I love him very much, and I would have absolutely no problem having a child with Down syndrome because they have like the biggest hearts and they're so sweet. So anyways, that's where Brock and I were at when it came to like our genetic testings and things like that. Yeah, it's like you just gotta love like the universe will like throw you whatever you can handle, you know what I mean? And I feel like it's just kind of like the biggest gift in the world, like to be able to still just be able to be pregnant. It's so hard, right? 'Cause that's something else someone said on here to me was like, what was your trying to conceive journey like? And I did a reel about this a couple weeks ago. I'm just gonna make sure I'm like kind of knocking things off here as I'm going through this. But with my trying to conceive journey, it was like we didn't try as long as most people would. We definitely didn't go through any fertility issues. We didn't go through any IVF or things like that. I have a lot of girlfriends that have gone through that. I have some girlfriends that are on here that have gone through that have been struggling. And like the thing is, it is the hardest thing that possibly for you to go through infertility. And the thing is, for me, was like with Brock and I, we were kind of sort of not trying for a while, just trying not to plan it for about quite a bit, because we were trying to not get pregnant before my girlfriend's wedding, because this girl likes to turn the fuck up, you know what I mean, get drunk and shit. So I was like, I'd like to not be pregnant for my girlfriend's Catherine's wedding. I'm like, but if it happens, it happens. So between like January and then, we were kind of like, if it happens, it happens. Didn't actively really start trying until October, when my girlfriend started, like, when I say trying, I mean like tracking using ovulation strips. I used the Premom app, and I ordered my ovulation strips off Amazon. And I was testing my urine twice a day. I wasn't ovulating for a while, and I was getting really, really anxious about it. Brock used to get mad at me and be like, can you stop doing your science experiments in the bathroom? Because I have this little pee cup and like all my stuff everywhere, and I'm sitting there taking pictures of like my pee sticks and putting it in this app. And then I'd be like, we have to have sex today! And I was like tackling him. And honestly, it really took a lot of the joy out of sex. Like, it became almost like, hey, we have to have sex right now. No, like, I want to have sex. And he didn't like knowing when I was ovulating. He was like, Sarah, just stop talking about it. I want you to stop talking about it on social media. I want you to stop tracking. I want you to do all these things. But like, I'm a control freak. Like, I need to know when and if I'm ovulating, things like that. So we were tracking like crazy. But I will tell you right now, it was exhausting. I hated every second of it. And it was, when you're not ovulating, or when you miss your window, because the one thing we don't really learn about in school, I feel like no one tells you this in sex ed, is that everyone's like, don't have sex, because if you have sex, you're going to get an STD and you're going to die, or you're going to get an STD and you're going to get pregnant. And you're just like, oh my God, I won't touch the D. Okay, fine. But then the thing is that you actually have a very small window of actually trying to get pregnant. So it's really funny when you actually do start trying, all of a sudden you're like, well, why is it so fucking hard? Like, why am I not just pregnant like right now? Right? And the thing is, like, that window, it's like about 7 days after you have your first period. And then that's if you're ovulating then. And every single person is different, right? I was very consistent with my periods. I'm pretty sure the day that we actually conceived was our 8th anniversary of actually meeting for the first time ever, like our first date ever. It was the November 28th, I'm pretty sure, which is pretty cool. But we also were fighting and like frustrated with the entire process at that point. So just know that like if you are someone that's trying to conceive, every person's journey is different. Every single person's ovulation is different. If you're struggling and you're doubting yourself, or if your spouse is doubting themselves, like just be supportive to each other. Try to still make your sex really fun and like not plan it. Like my biggest mistake I did, I think personally in my relationship, was trying to tell him when I was ovulating all the time, when like that wasn't fun for him. However, I have a girlfriend, her husband is super like scientific and super like all about the numbers, and he loved that piece. So every single person is going to be different when they're tracking ovulation or trying to get pregnant. I think it's got to be something you have to talk about with your significant other. Like, do you want to know this information? Are you comfortable with me tracking and things like that? But that's how we actually did get pregnant, was we had to track my ovulation, and we had to kind of like really work in that very, very small window of time. And that's how it worked for us. But every person's different. And feel free to reach out to me if you want to see my numbers, if you want to see my pictures that I've taken on my app, or ask what things I'm using. I am totally open to sharing that stuff. And I am also I drank a lot of herbal teas, and I slept with rose quartz every single night. A lot of people aren't super spiritual. I also have Himalayan salt lamps around my house. I put oils and stuff like on my body, like lavenders and things like that. But rose quartz is like love, and it's like a positive energy. And like for me, I sleep with it every night still, and I have ever since before trying to conceive. And now that I'm pregnant, Brock thinks I'm nuts. I like charge them in the sun, like and I have amethyst as well. And I sleep with them either under my pillow or in my hands. And sometimes I'll actually wear like high-waisted shorts, and I will put the crystals like on my belly. I'm crazy. Y'all might be like, I need to do that. But I'm telling you, like, I personally believe it's something that helped me. Because when I started doing that, that's when I felt like I started seeing my ovulation go back up and everything. So if you're an energy person and you feel that, then I suggest you try it. You can get lots of crystals from lots of different places. Highly recommend. Don't buy them online. Support local. Like, look up and see if you can find a healer or someone in your area, and go and meet up with them and tell them what you're doing. And sometimes what's really cool too is like crystals will speak to you. And my friend April, she's a medium here in Ottawa, April Moore, and look her up if you're here in Ottawa, and reach out to her. She's very good. But she actually, when she did a Reiki session on me years ago, she had the crystals out in front of her, and she said, hey Sarah, like these ones are actually like calling to you. And she gave them to me, and I left with them. So if you're a spiritual person, I recommend going to talk to someone that's a healer that will actually give you the crystals that you need based off the energies and the chakras in your body. I could go on about that honestly forever, about energies and chakras. If anyone wants me to do that, I can. Just let me know. Okay, next thing I want to talk about is this. So my girl Fallon, one of my clients / girlfriends in my biz, she sent me a pregnancy pillow. Y'all, I have wanted one of these for a long time, and I feel like just because I was like, I just want to get one of these and be pregnant, I'm absolutely not going to join you on a call. You creep. Thank you. Goodbye. But the thing is that these pillows are insane. This one's a little bit shorter, which is amazing. So I can like actually go like this, and I feel like I'm a side sleeper, number one, and I also like to sleep on my stomach, and you're not supposed to sleep on your stomach when you're pregnant. So you're supposed to I think you're supposed to sleep on your left side. It gives the best blood flow to baby as you get larger, but it's honestly the best thing in the entire world. And Brock's like, this is a total cock block, and I'm like, yes. And I'm never going to get rid of it. And I really don't think I'm ever going to get rid of this even after pregnancy. Yeah, still sleep with mine. Exactly, Allie. Like, it's so awesome. And you know what else is cool? I can sit up like this, and I can put my computer on here, or I can flip it around, and I can use it as like a laptop stand too, which is amazing. You don't like sleeping one? You feel like you're trapped? Girl, I like to feel like I'm trapped. I'm like kind of a psychopath, psycho savage. Sneak peek into my sex life. Just kidding. Am I? You don't know. But like for me, it's like I like to have pillows like all on the sides of me. Brock's really cute. So if I have a really hard night sleeping, he'll come in, I'll be in bed. He'll just take his hands and he'll like tuck the pillows and the blankets in like all around my body. So I'm in like a cocoon. So for me, this is like a dream. That's amazing. Another thing that I'm using for helping me sleep, because not that I'm really sleeping much at all, but when I do get 2 to 3 hours of sleep, it's this stuff, I swear on my life. This, and then I have a lotion that's by Lush. I think Lush is a Canadian company. I think so. But it's like a lavender, purple, beautiful, like, oh my gosh, eucalyptus lotion. And I put that on my hands, my shoulders, and my arms. So when I sleep like this, and I also put it right here for when I'm sleeping so that I'm breathing that in. But this stuff, the natural calm, also acid reflux is a thing. Tums. It even says, oh my god, I might need to have one. It even says on here that it's great for people that are pregnant. Or they should take it, mostly because of the calcium that's in here. I'm going to eat one. Okay, but the natural calm, this one is the raspberry lemon flavor. I buy mine on well.ca. It tastes like the best part of a, you know those rocket popsicles? Hi, Dan! Those rocket popsicles that you can get that have like the red. It's like red at the top, I think, and then it's like white and then blue at the bottom. This is exactly what this tastes like. So it calms you down at night. The magnesium citrate also in here is really good for helping you metabolize different types of carbohydrates and fats and proteins. It also helps with your bones and your teeth. Calcium is really important. They actually say, my actual app that popped up today told me to be drinking at least 2 to 3 things of water. I'm doing 75 hard, so I'm getting 4 liters of water in anyways. But it actually said to be adding magnesium to your water if you can. Another great reason why I love drinking my float water. This one's the collagen one that I've been drinking earlier after my workout today. And it also helps you with a magnesium deficiency. So if you're someone that's drinking a lot of like soda waters and things like that, this is a really good option for you to have, as well as supplementing with calcium. Again, I am not a doctor. This is just my personal experience. With this though, because it's magnesium, you can't shit your pants, okay? So make sure you take the recommended dose. Start with like half a teaspoon and then work your way up to 1 teaspoon. Your girl had spicy nudes the other night and then decided to take 2 teaspoons. It was a violent evening. So let's just leave it at that. Make sure you just use a small amount if you're not used to supplementing with magnesium, because it will fuck you up if you take too much, but it also will calm you down, help you go to sleep, and then it helps you get more natural. They actually say on here, like, monitor your bathroom movements to see if you're taking enough or not a lot. Okay? All right. Next thing. I talked about that one. And pillow, which I love. Oh, what was the brand on this? Oh, it's Leach Co. Leach Co. Yes, I love it. And Fallon got it for me from Toys R Us, and it came right away. And the nice thing is it's delivered to my door. I hate when I have a parcel and I gotta pick it up and go to the, you know what I mean? So we got that there. All right, prenatal supplements. I take a shiz ton. I didn't finish talking about my ultrasound. That's okay. I keep them in this. I take a lot. I honestly don't really need to take my prenatal because I still drink my superfood shakes. So my superfood shakes is 75 vitamins and minerals, pre and probiotics. It's not meant to be a, oh my gosh, Tums are so good. It is not meant to be a protein supplement. So it's not a protein powder, something I say all the time. I would never be like, yes, a protein powder is going to be a staple in my diet every day. Yes, queen, that's a nutrition plan. But I will have my superfood shake every single day. It's part of my diet. I swear that it's a reason that I'm in remission for my Crohn's disease, because it's so much harder for us to absorb nutrients. So I love it. So I have that every single day. It honestly has quite a lot of the nutrients that are in here. But on days where I forget to have my shake or things like that, I like knowing that I did take this. I take the Garden of Life once a day women prenatals. The reason I like these ones, these are like horse pills. They are massive. It comes in a box like this. But the reason I like these is because it's once a day. Some people are like, oh my gosh, Sarah, those ones are expensive. I actually did a haul on Amazon, but every single supplement that I'm taking for my pregnancy all at once, because Amazon had like a 55% off sale, and I spent $400 on my supplements. And then I ended up just getting everything all at once. So we have like a whole bunch of pills everywhere right next to like our weed gummies from like forever ago. It's hilarious. It's like weed gummies, and then it's like all freaking prenatals and stuff, which is hilarious. So I take this once a day. It's about $50 full price, or $55 full price. So I ended up getting a bunch of them at $25, which was amazing. Some people think it's expensive, but you really need to do the math on your vitamins and minerals, because the thing is that a lot of the times, shit, I'm not recording this, because a lot of the times that we actually have our vitamins and antioxidants is, oh shoot, what was I just trying to say? Off my train of thought. Oh, when you're taking supplements that are like they're like, oh, this is a cheaper one, but you have to take 2. Remember that you taking 2 is supplement to me having 1. So mine may seem like it's more expensive, but if you're taking 2 and you have like not as much as the number in there, you could actually be spending more than I am, because you have to take double the amount. So remember that, okay? Next one. Sorry, I need to get this down, or else I'm gonna be burping on you guys. So good. This one's a cucumber one. They're sending me a bunch of new flavors to try. I have a coupon code for this, so I'll never pay full price. Okay. I don't make money from it either. Always say that too. Folic acid. I take this. Now, there's a lot of different opinions about folic acid. I eat a lot of folate. Folate is actually the food source of folic acid. You can get it in like spinaches. You can get it in a lot of like dark leafy greens. So I have kale or spinach every single day as at least 1 serving of vegetables. So I get a lot of it in there as well. This is good for the development of the baby's brain. So I take this. This is just a basic like Jameson's, nothing fancy. I take calcium. So I take calcium every single day because I drink a shit ton of soda water, like bubblies and stuff like that. And the biggest thing with calcium is that if you are drinking a lot of soda waters and things like that, it actually can, I'm not saying it does, but it actually can break down the calcium in your body. Your baby needs a lot of calcium for their growing bones, as well as I've heard some pretty nasty horror stories about women that have been breastfeeding and their baby's teeth weren't strong enough because they had a calcium deficiency and their teeth breaking off when they're actually like breastfeeding. And like, I'm not up for, I'm weirded out by nipples in general anyway, so I'm not even sure how I'm going to do the breastfeeding thing, but I'm going to do it because it's the best thing for my baby. If I can produce milk, that's the other thing. There are a lot of women that can't produce milk. But that's why I'm taking calcium, to make sure that I'm not losing it, so that my baby can have it, and so that I'm still having it, so I can have all the soda waters that I want. You right there? You gonna make a champ? Okay, great. Oh, get it up. You're right. Then I take this prenatal DHA as well for brain and cognitive function for the baby. When I was nauseous for like 24 hours, I had ginger Gravol. I bought this the day that I found out I was pregnant, and I haven't used it since. But I have ginger Gravol, and then the Tums that I take every day as well. So, and I put everything in here so that I can just pick it up every day. You good, girl? Yep, she's fine. Okay, so those are my supplements I'm taking. I kind of touched on my TTC journey. They're crazy. Yes, okay, so my ultrasound. Callie! You okay, boo? This is real life. This is what live does. You good, boo-boo? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Brat. There you go. There's Callie, who everyone says is the exact same personality as me. Okay. You okay? All right, so this is how I'm going to pick up my children, by their legs, by the way. Just pick them up upside down by their legs. Okay, so the next one on here was handling case. So, I said ultrasound. So I did get to see my ultrasound. I will show it to you guys. I'll probably put it on my stories later today if you're watching, and I'll save it to my highlights. So if you're watching this as a recording, you'll be able to go to the highlight section of my Instagram into the prego part. But my baby was a baby jumping jelly bean. So I went to go when I got the back of the neck checked here. It took it was like 30 minutes long because the baby was just like, hey, ooh, and like jumping up and down and bouncing. It was the craziest thing ever because it was only 6 centimeters long, like literally as long as my pinky finger. And it's like jumping up and down and standing and like pressing and like, and they were like, oh my gosh, your baby is so active. It's crazy. And she was like having a really hard time getting like all the pictures in the frame she needed to get because the baby was super bouncy. And it's just like really cool to see because you're like, it's literally like six centimeters long and it's like jumping up and down like a little baby. You actually have a small little troll living inside you. It's a little tiny, like, it's like a Lego. You have like a Lego inside of you bouncing around. Think about that. Think about that. That's insane. So I had that happening, which is great. Okay, I can talk about that one. Okay, next thing on here. Handling, okay, this is huge. So I have not really had, I feel like because people know that I'm now calling them out on their shit if they send me a savage message in my inbox since last week. People aren't sending me as many messages like that are outrageous that I have to deal with. But I am in a pregnancy group, and I did see that one girl had mentioned that sorry guys, that she's been struggling with the fact that like a lot of friends or family that are like postpartum that basically have had children already are saying like, oh, get used, and I am getting this quite a bit, like, oh, get used to it now because it's going to be way worse when you have the baby, or oh, you'll never sleep, or oh, you think you're stressed now, wait till you have the baby, or oh, you think your anxiety's bad now, just wait till you have the baby. Like, could we just not fucking do that? Could we just focus on the positive sides of things? And I feel like people don't do it to scare the shit out of you. People aren't doing it to make you feel bad. They just kind of feel like this is the best way for me to kind of communicate like how I'm feeling. But to be perfectly honest, if you really think about it, there's no productive conversation that's going to come from that. What am I going to say? Like, really? Really? And so like what I said to this girl in the group, I was like, you know, I think the best way to kind of approach a situation like that, and what I've done is saying, you know, like, oh my gosh, like I'm really just trying to focus on like the positive things that are going to happen to me once I have my baby. I'd really appreciate it if you help me do that. And I think that that's what's important when you're dealing with people that are just like trying to be like, oh, you think it's going to be like this, but it's not. The thing is, like, no one knows what your future is like. You could have a colicky baby. You could not have a colicky baby. Yeah, exactly. Like, how is that helpful? Right? Like, how is this going to be a helpful conversation? Like, what is your motive behind this? Are you trying to make me feel good? Are you trying to give me anxiety? Are you trying to like just kind of get something off your chest? Like, and I feel like it's not a terrible thing that people are reaching out and wanting to communicate with you and tell you what things are going to be, but in the same breath, like, make sure you're just thinking about the way you're saying things. And if you're someone that is pregnant, that is getting those types of like comments, just kill people with kindness. It's going to take so much less stress and energy for you to be able to be like, you know what, I'm just super focused on like the positive sides of things. And if you have some positive things to tell me about what works for you in coping those situations, I'd love to hear those. And that's going to be a positive way for you to kind of put a spin on that conversation without like lashing out at that person and creating more anxiety and stress for yourself. Because at the end of the day, I think it's important that people are reaching out to you, because there's a lot of people that won't. Right? There's a lot of people that just watch you. There's a lot of people that will just like wait till you have the baby and all of a sudden they want to see it. And there's people that like, you know, like every situation is so different, right? Yeah. If it's not helpful to the way that people are sharing things, and just like let them know that you're trying to focus on the positive and don't let it eat away at you. But I think it's important to address it. Don't just read something and like double tap it and fug off. Like, you can't double tap people's faces in real life. Like, oh, thank you for that comment. Goodbye. Like, actually speak to people. It's social media. Like, or if they're doing it through text messages and stuff, like, it's still people. Like, still respond back to them, right? Okay. Food and stuff this week. All salt. I am all about the salt. If you guys have babies and you had cravings, I've been all over the map. Like, 1 second it's sweets, next thing it's salt or sugars. But like this week, it's just all been like salt and carbohydrates. And like, I'm like salting like my peanut butter on my toast. Like, I'm salting everything. And Brock's like, you need to just like chill. This is not healthy for you. I'm like, it's pink Himalayan salt, so it's healthy. It's not. Lying to myself. But salt's been a big thing for me. I think a lot of people said salt was boy. And Brock and I are also thinking about doing a big guess for like a split the pot kind of thing. We have to guess like the gender, the day, and like the weight of the baby. And we're thinking about doing something like that, which I think would be really, really fun. If anyone has done that kind of stuff in the past, then like share with me what you did that was really fun. And then, Brock likes to refer to the baby as the troll in my belly. Not really the cutest thing in the world, but whenever I'm like think that I have like a little baby belly bump, he'll kind of like lean over and be like, it's a little troll in there, and he'll like rub the belly as if it's like a little troll. So that's cute. And the last thing you guys also mentioned, unless anybody has any questions for me that you want me to answer, the last questions that were asked last time when I did my first episode was talking about the sweater that I was wearing before. It was a white sweater that was like big and oversized with a big turtleneck on it. I got it on Amazon. I got it for our photos for when we did our like reveal photos that we were pregnant. And I'm going to link it on my Amazon storefront. I haven't done it yet, but I will do it today. I have it literally written down here. So I will do that. And I also got these thigh-high boots on there. Unfreaking real. Such a good price. And then what else? Oh, my bracelets. I also get asked about my bracelets. These are all Alex and Annie bracelets. I'm obsessed with them. They actually sent me a bunch of bracelets here. And it's funny because since I spoke about my Uncle Wayne who has Down syndrome earlier, one of the reasons why I love Alex and Annie so much is they make all their bracelets are like charmed and they're personalized. Like one here has an S on it. Another one here says Forever Family, which I think is pretty cool. They sent me that one. And then I sent a bunch, my Scorpio one that's there. So like I sent a bunch of them to my girlfriend Christine when she had her baby. And you can like pick them so that they're personalized for people. So like I picked like, for my girlfriend, I was like, okay, well I got one that was helping her make positive choices and that the things that she was doing with her life were going to be correct. I did one that was like best friends, and I did one that was like mom power, like for your mom, but you can like personalize them. I have this beautiful one that's got like the little sparkly beads on it as well, which I'm obsessed with, but it's Alex and Annie, and you can make your own too. I highly recommend them. But I'm just excited because I want to be able to like use them for like, I don't know, distractions and stuff for once I have a little. So I'm just really excited about it. Unless you guys have any questions, I'm going to wrap it up and then I will upload this. But I'm really enjoying doing this. I got some really, really great feedback from all of you guys. And the more that you tell me the things you want me to share about that I can, but baby is the size of a little orange. I'm not showing it at all. Everyone's saying I won't probably show until like 20 weeks. I have some pretty big baby bump FOMO right now because I just want to be able to be huge and like big and like showing that belly, especially because in April I have a new program coming up. It's a dance program, and I just want to be like bumping that bump around in a little sports bra, just like woo, shaking that thing. So I'm super excited about that. But if no one has questions, I'm going to jump off here and I will upload it. But thank you guys so much. Please make sure that you comment down below and share what your biggest takeaway was, so anyone that hasn't watched this yet can see if it's a worthwhile watch for them, or let me know what you want to see next week. And that's basically it. And we have a new Motivation March bootcamp starting for this March. So if you've been interested in working out with me or learning about my fitness program, nutrition programs, things like that, you can reach out to me and send me an email at sarahzielinskifitness@gmail.com. And then the last thing is, how did I tell my parents? It's the worst video ever. So we told them on Christmas morning, and I set up my phone, basically a really bad view of my butt, and I walked in front of the camera and it focused on my butt. So when I walked away, the whole video was fuzzy. But my mom had actually gifted me a book, and it's, oh my gosh, what's it called? I gifted her a book when I was a little girl. And when what the book was about like me wanting to be like her when I grow up. And it's like her holding a baby and basically being like what you're going to be like when you're a mom. And my mom was talking about how my sister's having her baby. My sister's due in the next couple of weeks here. Like, she is popping pregnant, all right? Oh my God. And she's like, it's going to be so hard when Deirdre leaves and goes back to Bahamas without like my first grandchild being here. It's going to be so difficult for me. She's like, I'm going to need you to have a baby real soon. She's like, I know you're trying. I'm not trying to stress you out. Little did she know, what she told me is I was pregnant. So I actually re-gifted her that book back, so that when she opened it, she's like, why are you giving me this book back? And it was me showing her like that I was pregnant. My dad actually opened like the pregnancy test, and our friend Nick was there as well. So I gave him some baby wipes and got him to open it. We had them open it at the same time and I show it to them. So the best one was the way that I told my sister-in-law, though, because I had like a fake glass of red wine in my hand, and I had my, and oh my God, I didn't talk about the pelvic floor. Shoot, I didn't talk about that. I need to talk about that before I jump off. But I gave her like a glass of wine, and I said to her like, okay, I'm like, if she can drink this, I can drink it. And I got Charlie to drink it, and then she wouldn't touch it. And Chelsea's like, why would she be able to drink it if you can drink it? And then she was like, are you fucking pregnant? And then she just like ran over to me. So that's how that happened. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm going to have to make sure I edit my posts on here and say that I tried to end my live and then didn't, because I need to talk about the pelvic floor specialist that I went to today. It was absolutely game changing. The biggest, I am so fucking happy that I went to this, because I'm telling you right now, I learned so much. Was it fairly awkward for someone to be standing there with their finger inside me and then looking at me the entire time and telling me to breathe and squeeze and just talking to me as if I'm their best friend, and they're just like this the entire time? Absolutely. Really weird. Wasn't really my favorite experience in the world. Wouldn't say I want to do that again on a regular basis. However, I did learn a lot about my body. Learned a lot about my core function as well. And so we kind of set some goals, like, okay, Sarah, what are your goals for your pregnancy? She also was like, so you have nothing wrong with you and you're just here. And I was like, yes. So she's like, okay, set some goals with your pregnancy. So I said, okay, number one is that I want to be able to reduce tearing through birth. I want to know how to push properly without basically just like completely shitting myself the entire time. I said I want to get control of my Kegel muscles and things like that, so that when I do sneeze or where I am jumping or anything, that I'm able to control those muscles so that I don't pee myself and that also my recovery is faster after pregnancy. And then I said that I wanted to also make sure that I was like relieving some pressure on my back. So something that a lot of people don't know, that when it comes from back pain, a lot of your back pain can come from either your glutes not firing or either you're having issues with your pelvic floor muscles or your abdominals. So when we were talking about abdominal strength, she actually had me crazy. You guys, I was doing ab exercises with no pants on this morning, okay? Like, never in my life did I think that I was going to be laying there, spread eagle, doing ab exercises with my legs in the air. Like, that was something else. Like, it was a wild experience, but I was very comfortable. So, basically, what she was doing was, when you think about an exercise, and, you know, let's say brace your core. Like, if I was to tell you right now to take a deep breath in, exhale, and really brace your core super, super tight, and you were to take your hand and feel your entire core, I want you to kind of think about, where are you feeling most of that tension? Is it in the upper abdominals? Is it in the middle abdominals? Is it in your lower abdominals? Where is the area that you're feeling that? And I'd love for you to interact with me and let me know where you're feeling it, because when she did that with my core and she had me laying down, and we also talked about dissecs recti or whatever it is. Like, basically it's like your abdominals here. You have a line straight down the middle of your core right here, right? And so she was testing mine to see how the strength was, and if I was going to need to work on it for separation or for bulging. That could happen during pregnancy. And what she realized with me is that my upper core, which you guys have probably seen in like my workout videos and things like that, and whenever I post my transformation photos, I am very defined at the very top of my core, right up in here. But my transverse abdominals that are on the sides here are very, very tight and not as defined. So what she did was she gave me a bunch of different exercises so that I can, one, massage my transverse abdominals here to relax so that I can actually engage my pelvic floor more appropriately, and gave me some exercises for me to just really focus on your lower abs. So when you're thinking about you're doing an exercise, for example, like say you're doing a lat pull down or you're doing a bicep curl, and you're keeping your abs, your core tight so that you have really strong core function. When you're doing that, a lot of people will just squeeze here. They go like this, and they squeeze the upper abs. That's what I was doing when she got me to engage my abs. What you want to do, instead of thinking of squeezing your rib cage in like this, is you want to think about pulling a zipper up. Okay, so as there's a zipper at the top of your pubic bone going up towards your belly button, and you're squeezing up like that, and you're not tucking your pelvis so much, but you're just thinking of squeezing with your lower abdominals. And just by doing that and engaging and pressing my lower back down on the floor, I felt like my abs were on complete fire. And she was like, you need to work on this, because yes, you're very lean. Yes, your core strength is very good, but it's all upper area, and you want to focus on your lower area so that when you're carrying the baby, when you do go into birth, you have a stronger control over everything else that you're doing. She said that my internal examination was wonderful, and I'm very strong, by the way. Very proud of that. Hey, it's good, right? It was hilarious. But the other thing she taught me about was that, and I'm going to stand up for this, is that when you're pregnant, and anyone that's been pregnant, let me know, you're more likely to tilt your hips forward. And she talks to me a lot about posture. So you're going to be more likely when you're pregnant to want to tilt your hips forward like this and lean back. And you're going to be putting more pressure on your lower back, right? So she said that when you're actually pregnant, when you start carrying more weight on the front of your stomach, standing up, instead of your arch back being back like this, really focus on not tilting your hips forward, but just realigning your spine so that it's up, back, and down. So you're not tilting this way or tilting forward, but you're keeping your glutes activated. And I felt like that was really, really important information, because even now I find that I'm always trying to tilt my hips in and trying to keep my core really tight so that I'm able to brace it. But what happens is when you do that and you really like tilt your hips forwards is that your glutes stop firing. And then when your glutes stop firing, your back's going to start compensating for that weight and that pain, which in turn is going to actually make your abdominal muscles weaker. So it's really important for you to make sure that you're keeping your posture in proper alignment, especially when you're basically full term in your pregnancy. And she said the best way for you to work on that is doing it now. And so basically she told me to tell Brock that if I start doing that, start like seeing my pushing either my stomach forward or rounding my shoulders or deactivating my glutes, that's super important for me. Stand tall, pull straight up, keep your glutes activated. And same thing when you're actually like doing a squat or things like that. There's a lot of abdominal exercises that we cannot do. We cannot do because, you're pregnant and you're only supposed to twist and stuff. I'm doing a prenatal bar program as well that is in second trimester, which teaches me about the different core exercises I can do. Plank's basically the kind of go-to one that I have. But there's a lot of different stuff that you can do. Like, so if you're laying down flat on your back, I should just do a whole series of this, just about what I talked about for the pelvic floor. I think that'd be very helpful. But if you're laying flat down on your back, and you are pressing your lower abdominals into the ground and then thinking about that zipper action, but pulling up from the bottom and engaging your pelvic floor. So you're going to be pulling from your lower pelvis pubic bone up to your abs, to your middle of your belly button, and you're pulling it up and down and then lifting one leg at a time, a dead bug, up and down. The fire and the pain that you get in there is absolutely insane. And like if you're someone struggling with back pain, or you have had a baby before, or you are getting ready to give birth, super, super important. Honestly, I would tell you like going to the pelvic floor like therapist is the best thing that I think I could possibly do for myself. I'm going to be going back to seeing her every 4 weeks. And in doing that, it's like going to change my life. You're beautiful, mama. Your freaking pregnancy goals too, lady. So anyways, that was really, really cool. And then also the other thing that she talked to me about was like breathing when doing your Kegel exercises. That basically the way that your body should work when you're doing Kegel exercises is that it all works as one. So like as you're breathing in with your diaphragm and you're relaxing, she's like, the relaxing is the most important part. People think that holding and squeezing for your Kegel exercises is the most important part. But she's like, the thing is, as women, we want that shit to be tight all the time. So we always squeeze in. Like, true though. Hello, true though, right? So she said, but the biggest thing is that women don't do the most is that they don't actually relax. So when she was doing the exercise with me and getting me to inhale and exhale, she's like, drop the muscles in your vagina. So like, it feels like you're just like dropping them to the ground. Like she's like, just like, let it go. You need to be able to let it go. Cause when you're doing exercises or when you're bracing your core, you're doing things like that, you're making everything tight and like seize in like this. And what you want to do is when you're inhaling in, you're not squeezing when you're inhaling. You're doing a Kegel exercise when you exhale. So when you exhale is when you hold. When you inhale, you relax. And I thought that was really cool. And it kind of is a mind fug when you're trying to do it. Because you're just like, you feel like you should be holding when you're pulling in. But you want to hold when you exhale. And so what she has me doing, because my lower abdominals are so weak, is she has me doing 2 breaths. So I will take a deep breath in, exhale, and then I'll take a deep breath in. And then when I exhale, I will squeeze at the same time. So you're exhaling, and then you're squeezing your Kegel muscles at the same time. Then I'll do an inhale and an exhale, an inhale, and then a squeeze and a hold. So those are my exercises that I'm doing every single day. Anybody can do them. If you are pregnant right now, do them now. You can't start too late. It's just exercises that you can do every single day. But it was really, really amazing. I'm going to keep going back. She also was talking to me about really massaging these transverse abdominals and really massaging down below as well, to really make sure you're just like loosening up your muscles. It's just like going for a massage, right? So I hope that's super helpful. I totally can't. Thank you so much, Steph, for mentioning that, because I would not have talked about it. And that was like the main thing I wanted to talk about today, but I really recommend it. Go to a pelvic floor physiotherapist. She's like, don't even come back here for like another like 2 months or something. She's like, come back here once you're feeling better. She's also working on my back pain because I need to work on my